Hi guys,
Hello.
welcome everybody to CherryMinds Open House on 5th of June. How's everybody doing?
Amazing.
Good, all good.
Beautiful, beautiful. I hope you guys are having a good Sunday.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
chill Sunday.
Yeah, I even God took a break on Sunday, so I think we all deserve it.
Right.
ठीक है. So, guys, today in the open house, our topic for discussion is our brains as an organ. So, the topic of discussion will be, is it changing all the time? Is our brain changing all the time? So, that's the topic. That's what we're gonna do. Talk about it today. And then at the end of the day, at the end of the discussion, we'll just read about the mission and vision of Cherry Minds and how we want to make a difference in the space of mental fitness, right? ठीक है. So let me set the context for the discussion, guys. So yeah, you see, I think it's evident that we are all adults. Surprise, surprise. So the thing I wanted to discuss is that just like any other organ, okay, uh, just like when you reach your adulthood, your height stops to grow, okay, your teeth are fixed, more or less they don't grow anymore, so stuff like that. So the point I'm trying to make over here is that is brain also just like other organs of our body, is that also fixed on adulthood? So what's your opinion here?
I think it's changeable. Totally.
Okay.
Uh,
Let me tell here that again. First of all, Shreya is a clinical psychologist here. So, okay, thanks for your opinion, Shreya. Ija, what's your opinion?
when I was in school, na, I used to think ki, when I used to look at the adults, like the older people,
Mm-hmm.
I used to think, okay, they know everything. Basically, they know
Mm-hmm.
everything that is needed to, run your life. So when
Mm-hmm.
I reach there, it'll stop. Like once I learn some specific stuff, yeah, mera degree puri ho jayegi or whatever. When I reach
Mm-hmm.
there, I'll be done.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
when my degree got over and I got a job and I went to my office first time, and I saw that there were some other tools, there were some new methods that these people were using that that was not taught to me in
Mm-hmm.
any school, any college. So I had
Mm-hmm.
to learn all of that again, and
Mm-hmm.
like, something new I had to learn. And
Okay.
over time, when I practiced, then I got better. So then I
Okay.
realized that probably if I can learn more stuff, and I need to learn more stuff every day, तो इसका मतलब it doesn't stop, right? I mean, that's
Got
where
it.
I sort of came to this.
Yes. So maybe it's because even after you reach adulthood, you were able to teach yourself new things. So that's the reason you
Yeah.
thought, brain
Yes.
is changing all the time.
Yes.
Okay. Here I'm really curious because our psychologist friend here just said that brain is changing all the time. But guys, did you know that once upon a time, uh, there was a Nobel Prize awarded in the community of psychologists uh, for the discovery that brain gets fixed on adulthood. It does not change once you reach a certain point. So, Shreya, would you like to shed some light on, when was this notion in history, or
Hmm.
कुछ उस पे मतलब ऐसा क्यों था? Maybe some lines on that.
So, how do people starting the brain initially was they didn't have technology. So
Mm-hmm.
studying the brain kind of is also goes hand in hand with the development of technology in a way. So
Yeah.
initially when people started studying brain as a
Yeah.
organ, like you
Yeah.
mentioned, that we're going to
Mm-hmm.
understand that today, they usually did the dissection wala cheeze usko area
Mm-hmm.
mein ye sab kiya. So but so then people was studying structurally the brain, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But eventually then they found out its brain not just works structurally, मतलब ऐसे boxes structure की terms में सिर्फ नहीं काम करता है, वो function की terms में भी, मतलब जैसे कि कोई टेक्नोलॉजी की टर्म्स में देख लो कि फंक्शन की टर्म्स में भी काम करता है,
Mm-hmm.
राइट?
Mm-hmm.
सो व्हेन पीपल स्टार्टेड मेजरिंग फंक्शंस,
Mm-hmm.
it was probably now the newest technology that we have is a functional magnetic resonance. So simply putting it, कि fMRI scans क्या होते हैं is
Mm-hmm.
if you're performing a certain activity and there are some these brain nodes that are put onto your head. It studies the function of the chemicals in real time,
Got
right?
it.
So the activity, like that. And based on that, when people were brain damage patients ले लिए गए या any other patients who had you know severe stroke, hemorrhage
Mm-hmm.
sort of things, तो पहले operationally cut करना पड़ता था, but and then फिर कुछ functional चीजें रह जाती थी. तो
Got it.
when people started training on that functional thing, it turns out that one neural network kind of, if it gets stopped, you can develop new neural networks. So उसके आसपास के जो न्यूरल नेटवर्क्स है वो काम कर लेते थे. तो ये स्टडी करना इजी एफएमआरआई स्कैन्स की वजह से हुआ. सो इट वाज अराउंड 1940s with the advent of technology. It was now found. Now it turns out that you can actually use real time brain imaging and studying cognitive skills. How do you legit develop your brain? How does its functioning gets better? So Elon Musk also has something called as a neural link coming in. It's also very closely related to this concept, है ना? तो basically वही है कि in real time study करना with technology 1940s और इन सब के era में start हुआ, but brain study 1970s के बाद शुरू हुई. It's still new. It's a baby concept, neuroplasticity.
So what you're saying is basically brain is such an organ जो कि बाहर नहीं है, it's there inside our skull. So previously it was very difficult for people who were studying the brain to really map the changes, because कोई अगर मर जाएगा तो ही उसका brain देखने को मिल सकता है, right? And what I also read was कि uh, during that time the actual research on human brain was, the reference point taken was cats का brain या mice का brain. So because in these animals the brain stops developing, हमको ऐसा लगता था पहले कि humans का brain भी does not change after adulthood, right? But since the development of technology, like you said, like fMRI, we are able to study our brain changes in real time.
Yeah.
So उसकी वजह से both structural changes and functional changes we have observed, right?
Yeah.
Got
And
it,
because of the
got it.
structural changes, हमें functions भी पता चलती है कि कौन से function से हम कौन से structure of neurons को rewire कर सकते हैं.
Got it, got it. We'll talk about the the technicalities of it, कि neuron क्या होता है, etc. Because I don't think all our viewers would have taken biology and studied psychology then. So we'll talk about the technicalities of it. Uh, I wanted to discuss about that. If you all agree कि brain change होता है, now it's common fact. So then, can there be a positive change and a negative change? So, like Ija mentioned, like when she learned a new thing. Ija, what did you learn? Just out of curiosity.
Like I learned Excel. I did not have any clue. Then
Mm-hmm.
later on, I learned some Adobe softwares, whatever
Mm-hmm.
softwares. Many softwares I have learned over the years. So मुझे
Mm-hmm.
बिल्कुल I had no clue about, but now I'm pretty fluent with it because I kept practicing. I kept doing it again.
Mm-hmm. So, learning Excel, I think, counts in learning cognitive skills.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
I think we all agree, right? Cognitive skills such as mathematics or programming and stuff like that. So, I think
Yeah.
this is one positive example of how we actually change our brain in terms of learning new cognitive skills, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other positive change, we can example of?
Any repetitive learning only is a positive change, right? So for
Hmm.
example, I think emotional regulation हम जब बात करते हैं, like
Hmm.
other than just thinking, problem solving, I think emotions is also something we often neglect when it,
Hmm.
but it is very closely associated with how we think,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
But also how we think is closely associated with how we feel, right?
Of
So
course.
probably
So
that's
how?
like positive change that you can
Hmm.
learn to certain skills. मतलब ऐसे मेरे पास tools हैं कि if
Hmm.
I'm in a bad mood, can I
Hmm.
put myself
Hmm.
in a good mood? Yes, I have some tools with me, I can do that. And
Makes
I
sense.
think that's the positive way in which you can rewire your brain.
Makes sense. Makes
Probably
sense.
like when I feel upset, I listen to music. And if there's some song, like a lot of people say, I'm not sure what is the psychology behind it, but a lot of people say that you associate some good memory with some music or some song. So maybe you heard that song when you were very happy. So if you when I hear that song again, so I feel amazing again. I have no clue why I feel that way, but it feels good. So
Yeah.
then that becomes your favorite song basically.
Yeah.
So apart from guys, I think we discussed positively कैसे brain change हो सकता है by learning new stuff and emotional regulation and all. I also wanted to discuss that since our brain is changing all the time, uh, can the new age tools like social media, stuff like that, can that also do maybe a negative impact on your brain? And I think I have a example of this. Maybe you can elaborate further. So as you know, the content consumption industry today, if you look at Instagram or TikTok or stuff like that, uh, they are very short videos. Okay, short videos of 1 minute or 2 minute. Okay, so if your attention span currently is, let's say, 1 hour, you are able to pay concentrate for 1 hour. Consuming such content on a regular basis actually rewires your brain. Can it rewire your brain in the sense that your attention span can decrease because your brain is now consuming at a pace of 1 minute information at 1 minute per in every minute, so that every minute your brain is getting rewired to get a new hit, get a new dopamine hit. So do you think this can impact your concentration level in real life?
Yeah.
I think as a content consumer and creator,
Hmm.
if I can, get all the information in say 30 seconds, तो मैं 1 मिनट का वीडियो क्यों देखूंगी या मैं
Hmm.
5 मिनट्स का वीडियो क्यों देखूंगी if something is told to
Hmm.
me in 30 seconds. So
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
think then I will consume more of that. मतलब
Hmm.
मेरे साथ हुआ है, I've observed this. कि
Hmm.
if the
Hmm.
content is smaller and it's like everything is packed into one thing, why will I
Hmm.
go for say reading a book about the same topic? You know,
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
so probably yeah.
And see, I mean, if we talk a little bit deeper also, कि हो क्या रहा है जब हम कुछ consume कर रहे हैं हमारे phone पे, right? We are looking at it because we like it, ठीक है? So in our brain, what is happening is that, how do you like it? Your brain is releasing dopamine, something, a chemical known as dopamine. That's what's making you like, that feeling. So you're watching the content, dopamine, watching content, dopamine. So what I've seen is key, even when people are waiting somewhere, just waiting at a table or waiting for at a queue, we are just not able to do without stimulation. Inevitably your hand goes to your pocket, and you want that consumption. So I think your brain is also getting rewired in this way, that it is always looking for more dopamine hits.
Hmm. I agree. I also agree to your first question. Ke, is our brain also getting rewired because of social media? Absolutely, our brains are rewiring constantly because constant
Hmm.
production of dopamine ho raha hai. Now it
Hmm.
depends on where are you channeling your dopamine. If you're channeling
Hmm.
your dopamine towards social media, that's where the neural network will form. So then every
Hmm.
morning you get up, the first thing you want to see is the social media because that's where your first dosage of dopamine is. Your brain
Exactly.
goes कि यहीं से तो
Exactly.
मिलेगा.
Exactly. It's just like developing any other habit, right? If you just do that particular thing for a certain amount of time, your brain, gets rewired in that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So here also, because we are a neuroscience based company, we also wanted to discuss the neuroscience of it, neuroscience of how your brain is actually, changing.
Hmm.
So would you guys be interested in knowing that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
ठीक है. So guys, all these changes that we are talking about, right? I want you to make sense out of it. Ki how is your brain getting changed while you are doing any particular activity, right? So how you can imagine your brain as an organ is just like a computer circuit. Okay, so let's take a simple activity that you're not doing anything, you're getting bored. That's the reason you took out a phone, you check out your social media, you liked something, so that's when your dopamine got released, as we discussed. So in our computer analogy, what's happening is that in your brain a particular circuit is being fired. Okay, so this whole action that you took when you were getting bored, that's the trigger. What you did, took out your phone, what you experienced, dopamine hit. So these all three checkpoints are sort of a circuit that gets fired in your brain, right? So
Okay.
I hope you guys are able to imagine how is it working.
So basically, you're saying it's all connected. It's the series of activity that you're doing. It's connected, and you're doing it again and again, sort of.
Yeah, so just let's say you are this how okay, let us discuss key how people get addicted to smoking, for example. Okay,
Hmm.
when you first try your first smoke, okay, so a pattern develops, a single line develops in your mind key. You were, let's say you were stressed, okay, you smoked, and then you felt good because of the whatever the chemicals are there in the cigarette. So that circuit was fired once, okay, then you repeated this activity when you were stressed again, so that circuit got fired again, repeated again. So when this circuit keeps on firing in your brain, which is just like any other computer circuit, what happens is that proteins get exhibited, proteins get released from those genes, those neurons or nerve cells, let's call it nerve cells. So when proteins get excreted, then that circuit becomes stronger. So the technical term that neuroscientists and psychologists give it is that neurons that fire together wire together.
Makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so let me know if you want to add anything, or we can discuss further if if we have any doubts.
About the neuroscience of plasticity.
Yes, so yes, let me for our viewers, this whole process is called neuroplasticity. So the word is made for two things, neuro and plasticity. Neuro means anything related to your brain or nervous system. So neuro, and plastic means change. It is plastic, it is changeable. So together the term that we describe the whole process is called neuroplasticity.
Yeah. And the same thing can have a positive and a negative outcome as well. So, for example, in the case of Ijja, if music is something which can kind of rewire the positive circuitry, it can also produce those emotions again and again.
Hmm,
You
hmm,
know,
hmm. Hmm,
sometimes
hmm.
negative emotions may also be associated with the song. So, when
Correct,
there are
correct.
negative
Yeah.
emotions associated with the song, those emotions in themselves brings thoughts. So, the same circuitry can give you a positive as well as a negative outcome.
Correct, correct. So I think we had a great discussion today about how our brains are changing all the time. It's not just like any other organ of our body that is fixed, right? And so the question, the parting question that I have in my mind is that uh, if our brain is getting rewired all the time, by all the experience that we are having in our life, can our brains be then trained for being fit? That's a possibility that I think we should talk about more in our upcoming open house. What do you think?
Absolutely.
ठीक है.
Sure.
तुझे क्या लगता है?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the natural question that we should ask and we should discuss so that we have a clear understanding for ourselves and our viewers,
Mm.
right? But before we go, I think I would just say quickly take 5 minutes to go through Cherry Mind's mission and vision, why we are doing this, and what's our aim. So let me
Yeah.
share my screen. Can you guys see my screen?
Not yet. Ab. Yes.
Okay, guys. So just quickly, I'll take you what we do at Cherry Minds and the reason why we exist. Okay. So our mission at Cherry Minds is to help 1 lakh young Indians get into a healthy relationship with their own mind. Okay. Our vision at Cherry Minds is to help Indian millennials and Gen Zs train the brain's attention muscle and stay in flow with their present moment. We envision to help everyone overcome the trauma of their past life and the anxieties of the future. Okay, what we do is that we help you learn the cognitive skill of mindful awareness via formal meditation, that's the primary route, and other mindfulness activities, which is our secondary pillar. We also help you integrate this skill in your daily life to experience significant positive changes. Okay, last but not the least, what lies in the future is that Upon enabling and learning this new habit for a fit mind, we wish to induce a significant personality and lifestyle change for everyone who works with us. Yeah, guys, I hope it makes
Awesome.
sense. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah.
you, everyone, for joining.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye bye.
Bye bye. See you next week.